and the tech that you love of the Kia Carnival, but with a much more efficient twist. Today's video is all about the new 2025 Kia Carnival Hybrid. And today's model is the LX Plus. So we're showing you everything you're getting in the standard trim level, and you guys, it just keeps getting better from there. So, Tim, you're my special guest slash videographer today. Are you excited?
Yeah, this is amazing. We waited over a year to get it.
Yes.
They announced it at last year's auto show. So we've got a number of on order.
Yes.
But this is the first one in an LX Plus trim.
Yes.
So we will keep it to test drive so everyone has a chance to drive it.
Yeah, if any of you guys are local and you're interested or curious about the new hybrid Carnival, come by our dealership. We have one to test drive. You can definitely take it for a spin and see how it measures up to the V6 and the gas model. So, should we get into it, Tim?
Let's go.
All right, I'm going to mute this because it's very loud.
Oh, okay. Hang on a sec.
And do you remember how to record?
Probably not, but it's okay.
That's all right.
Oh, it didn't spin. There we go.
Perfect. So now that we're on the exterior of the Kia Carnival, I'll first point out the paint color. It's white, more specifically snow white pearl, probably our most popular color choice for the Carnival. And let me tell you, it complements the design elements very well. So for the grille on the LX Plus model, you'll get a nice mix of black accents with some chrome too. So it's a good mix of dark and light. Not everything's blacked out and just kind of hides away. It looks good. It stands out and it pops. For the surrounding of the grille, it's also finished in that satin chrome material. So it has a little bit of chrome shine, but not too much where it looks like an old Cadillac. It's modern and it looks good. I'm going to turn the headlamps on so you guys can see our bold lighting. So the lighting and the way it kind of flows into the grille, it's such a beautiful look. Now this changed for the Carnival gas model in 2025 where it got a refresh to its styling. And of course it's transferring over to the hybrid as well. You get a bold amber daytime running light that flows perfectly right into the headlight unit itself. For the headlight, it's an LED, and same thing with your positioning lights. You'll have no problem with visibility on this vehicle. They're not placed low either, so it's just at a perfect stance, and they're super bright. You also get intelligent high beam assist with this vehicle, meaning that if you are someone who lives in a rural area or just you're in Canada and it gets dark at 5 p.m., the high beams can turn on by themselves and then shut off when it senses another vehicle. What you guys probably really want to know about is the powertrain, so let's take a look underneath our hydraulic hood. So we get a 1.6 liter turbocharged GDI engine, and that engine is going to provide you with a good amount of power, but not enough, and that's why we brought in the big guns. We have a 74 horsepower electric motor paired with that. So your grand total is 242 horsepower with 270 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers, they're incredible. It's very much on par with what the V6 offers you, but without that horrible fuel consumption. And I shouldn't say horrible. I mean, if you are getting a V6 and in a van, you know you're driving a bigger vehicle with a bigger engine. You can't expect the fuel efficiency to be fantastic. This vehicle though, 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, that's pretty dang good, and it's an 8-seater. We'll get into the interior in just a second. From now on, let's go take a look at our wheels. So Tim, we'll meet you over there. These wheels are exclusive to the LX Plus model. They're 17-inch alloys, and I think they look fantastic. They are a little bit different than what you're probably used to. So we have a Kia Sorento right behind us, which is a great example of what our alloys in the past look like. You'll notice that it's a pretty traditional design. However, when we look back at the Carnival's wheels, we have a lot of seemingly blades, and that is actually for aerodynamics. So we want to minimize air resistance and maximize airflow, and that's exactly what those aerodynamic alloys do. You also get an all-season tire with the vehicle, and it is front-wheel drive. All right, let's take a look at the side profile. Before we do that, I can't exactly show you what I'm talking about, but I can show you the general direction and let you know that it's there. It's a heated windshield. So to the naked eye, it looks like a normal windshield, but there's little burners throughout the glass that will melt snow and ice off the window itself. So you don't have to scrape it. You don't have to get your snow brush out. It'll literally melt right off the same way your back window does on most other vehicles. For your mirrors, you don't get power folding in the LX Plus model, but it is available on the EX. There's a mix of body color, a little bit of gloss black to tie in with the rest of the dark accents, and blind spot detection. On the topic of safety, on the LX Plus model, you do get a lot of safety functions. So smart cruise control, that's navigation-based, but also highway drive assist. So if you hop on a 400 series highway, turn on your cruise control, it'll transform itself into highway drive assist to make sure you're, number one, following the speed limit and keeping a safe distance from the car ahead of you. If you hit stop and go traffic, this vehicle has no problem stopping for you and bringing you right back up to speed and doing it efficiently. For your doors, you'll see your handles. You got a mix of that chrome, matches the grille perfectly, with a proximity button. So as long as the key is on you, you can press on the button itself to unlock either the driver door, passenger door, or when I show you the rear passenger's doors, those two. They are power sliding doors, and that is standard on the Carnival Hybrid. So you can give the door itself a push, operate it from the key fob, or operate it from within the cabin if you are picking up a bunch of people and you don't want to worry about them grabbing the doors. There's a little bit of black accents along your pillars, or a lot of it, but it's not that shiny or piano black, gloss black I should say. So this means when you are dealing with a lot of kids or even just going through car washes, you don't have to worry about scratching this. It's not going to look as bad in the near future as something like this kind of pillar, where you got to take real good care of it or else they get covered with scratches. Right, Tim?
Absolutely.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, to keep a vehicle like this looking nice, when you buy it new, it looks nice and shiny, but over time, if you're not the one that's always hand washing their cars, it can start to look not so good. So it's great that we have that. For your roof rails, they're a raised style and they are usable. No sunroof on this trim level, so you got all that real estate to put whatever you'd like up there for your cargo adventures. When it comes to towing capacity, you get 3,000 pounds of towing capacity. That is a little bit less than the V6 model, but you get a heck of a lot more fuel efficiency. All right, Tim, come on this way. You get parking sensors along the rear. You can see them on our rear bumper right over there. That is, of course, going to beep inside the cabin when you get too close to something. So think if you're parking this vehicle in a garage or just a busy lot with lots of other vehicles, it will beep to let you know you're getting too close. And it does have rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist. That was a really big word, but let me break it down for you what it does. And Tim knows this for a fact. So a few years ago when we first got the Carnival, we made Tim run behind it to see if it would actually avoid hitting a pedestrian. And it did. It did not hit Tim, no matter how hard we tried. So when it comes to vehicles or just pedestrians in busy parking lots, it'll warn you first, but then take corrective action and apply brake force to avoid said collisions. Your tail lamps expand all the way across the rear end of the vehicle. Absolutely beautiful design, kind of similar to what the first new model of the Carnival looked like, but it does have a slight refresh now, so it just looks a bit more modern, makes the rear end look really wide and gives the car a good stance. Gloss black here, and then a hidden rear wiper. I love how Kia hides their wipers. You don't realize how ugly they are until you get a car that has it tucked away. This also means it's not going to accumulate snow or ice, so it makes just clearing your car off and driving in the winter that much easier. All right, let's open it up. So 8-seater configuration, like I mentioned, that means we got 3 seats in the rear, 3 seats in the middle, and 2 up at the front. Right now I have our rear seats raised in a seated position, more so of a recline as well too. So you can adjust these seats to be more upright if that's in your rear passenger's best pleasure or most comfort. Underneath, you can see there is a lot of depth to the storage space. I don't have the exact dimensions off by heart. Please remember this is a live stream video and I'm not a computer, but I will put it in the description. So if you're curious to see how much real usable space there is, there's a lot of it.
Sit inside.
Or I could show you
Just
by
sit inside. You'll disappear.
hopping inside.
There it is. So I would say Gabi's kind of a normal sized person. And you can stretch yourself all the way out.
Yeah. So if I actually lean up all the way against the back, I have a lot of space for my feet actually.
So golf clubs, luggage, strollers.
If it's a family vehicle, maybe
strollers,
hockey bags,
soccer
balls.
You're the size of a
Pack
normal.
and plays, anything really.
Yeah, pack and place. Yeah, absolutely.
I guess this also kind of makes it more of a 9-passenger too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out. So of course,
different countries.
Yes. Now these seats, they do fold into this storage area too. So if you're not utilizing the third row, you can just grab this handle here, pull it back, allow it to fold, and then give it a good push, locks into place, and then you have an almost completely flat floor. Now, if you really just need this fan for cargo and you're not carrying a bunch of passengers at all, you'll be happy to know that the third row is completely removable. Each seat comes out individually. They do not fold into the floor because they are big, comfortable seats. So you will have to do the work of taking them out, but you'll have so much space for whatever you need with them out. And those, of course, you can always pull them back up if you are picking up passengers. For the lift, it is power adjustable. Sorry, it is powered, but it's also adjustable. So if this is too high for you or your garage space, you'll bring it back down to wherever you need it and then press and hold the liftgate button to keep it there. That means every time you open it, it'll be in the default setting.
2 beeps, right?
2 beeps. Well, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of a 1 beep, but 2
beeps.
All right, you were right.
It actually works.
You know more than I thought. All right, another thing that this liftgate does that's quite handy, but at the dealership it can be kind of annoying, is it does have proximity access. So that means if the key's on me, I can simply walk up to it, stand here for 3 seconds, and it'll power open. You'll see why that's annoying at the dealership because we stand by cars a lot. We don't want the lift gates opening and closing, but you can turn that on if this is your vehicle. All right, fuel consumption. I already mentioned it's 6.9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city. I believe it's 7.2 on the highway, and it's a 72-liter tank. So this is a fairly large tank. That means it will cost a bit to fill it up, but you get about 800 kilometers of range on a full tank. It's much better than the straight gas Carnival. So you can go further with the same amount of fuel, and that's the beauty of a hybrid. Again, also with the V6 engine on the gas model, it wasn't exactly great, especially in the city. So now if you do have driving that involves a lot of stop and go, you can feel a little bit more at ease knowing that it's not sucking gas out of your vehicle like crazy. So it's a lot more efficient. Maybe we'll just do another pan of the exterior. I'll give a couple more specs. So of course, those are the 17-inch alloys. I think they look fantastic. You get vented disc brakes, both for the front and rear. You also get a rear multi-link suspension, so the handling on this vehicle is quite fantastic. I mean, no one really dreams of driving a van, but at least this is a pretty cool, good-looking van, and it handles good too. I'm gonna get the lights back on because everything's shut off.
Thank
you. In the meantime, if you want to give a pan of the interior, Tim, that
What do we do
would
with
be
the
great.
interior? So keep in mind, this is an LX Plus. So when we go into the different trim levels, I think most people have talked about EX, EX Plus. They talked about SX and SX Plus. The SX has a bench seat. The SX Plus has captains. So when you're ordering it, make sure that the salesperson understands the difference between an SX and an SX Plus,
Yes.
because it's for the captain's chairs in the rear.
Another thing that I think is so important is to know that if you are getting the captain's chair, so the top model, you want all the bells and whistles, you can't remove those two middle seats. So if that is something that's very important to you, you want to have the ability to take everything out, you can't do it with those seats. Just so you guys know. So the EX model might be a better option for you. This one is priced at $46,545, which I think is a fantastic price for this vehicle. You already gave a pan on the inside?
Yep.
So I'm gonna hop
Already
in.
ran it. Yeah.
All right, so you get a power driver seat with cloth interior. I will say this cloth is very, very comfortable, and one of the best things about cloth is the fact that they don't get as icy cold in the winter, and they don't get as hot in the summer. Mind you, these seats are still heated, and they do heat up quite quickly, and you get three different levels of heat to choose from. Let's take a look at the door first, though. You do get a couple different colors going on over here. So it's black over here, a bit of a beigeish brown in the middle, which gives a nice luxe look, with a graphite little panel here. And then you got your traditional door handle.
Brushed,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, over here you got your mirror adjustments. The mirrors are heated and electronically controlled, so very easy to find your perfect configuration. Lock and unlock, and then an express window for the driver, and then the rest of your windows are still powered. You also have your window lock right over here. The door itself, I think, looks fantastic, and that color contrast also expands all the way across the dash. I think just not using black on everything definitely opens up the space of this already very large vehicle, so it just feels super luxe. All right over here we have we have our adjustments for our brightness, a tow mode, which is quite handy, and then our traction control. Tow mode essentially allows you to kind of link the weight of the trailer that you're pulling to the vehicle. So you have 3,000 pounds of towing capacity. If you're pulling something that weighs just about nothing, probably in the 500 to 1,000 range, you'll be at the light tow setting, but there's also a middle and a heavy. So heavy is of course going to be utilizing all 3,000 pounds of that capacity. It's just going to change the way your gears are going to operate and make sure your vehicle is in its best mode for whatever the load is that you're pulling. See that rhyme there? All right, for the steering wheel, it's leather wrapped and heated, very, very comfortable, and a customer reminded me of this today. They traded in a Nissan vehicle that had some of the media adjustments and the driver adjustments on the same side. Now, Kia does a great job of keeping media things on one side, so things like voice commands, volume, phone, whatever media mode you're listening to, and driver assistance commands on the separate side. There's no mix and match of different controls on either side. It just makes sense. So volume and media, like I said, and then over here you have a quick button to turn on your cruise control, set your speed, set your following distance, and then turn on or off your steering assistance control. You also get a little bit of gloss black right in the center, so it looks good. It's not a boring wheel. And I don't know if you could tell, but we also have paddle shifters. So this vehicle is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. When you're in sport mode and you go to utilize those paddle shifters, it's going to change your actual gear. When you're in eco mode, however, it's going to change the amount of brake force thanks to the regenerative braking system. So that's very, very handy, especially if you want to make your vehicle as efficient as it can be. So they're multi-use paddle shifters, essentially. I'm going to take that from you, Tim, if you want to join me on the passenger side.
Got it? Okay.
Sorry if you guys got a little too close to me for a second. Your start button is right over here. I'm not going to turn the vehicle on fully, of course. We'll just wake up the screens in accessory mode. Check brake system. Our parking brake is on. And you can see we've got our digital speedometer on the left, digital tachometer on the right, so everything still looks very, very normal, if that makes sense. It doesn't look overly EV or overly hybrid. It's just a very efficient Carnival. On the left-hand side, you can see we have an empty tank, so there's not a lot of range right now, about 71 kilometers. But like I mentioned earlier, on a full tank, you can expect about 800 kilometers of range, which is quite nice. I didn't wake up the middle screen. There we go. And Tim's back. Tim, do you want to talk about your seat real quick? I might have you get out again to show your seat.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, I'm, what, 5'11"? There's lots of room in here. It's nice, even when we talked about cloth interiors versus the vegan leather, these are very nice. There's lots of room in them. I'm very comfortable, and I got lots of room in my headroom as well. So, and I'm not sitting far back, but you're probably farther back than I am.
Yeah, so I have my seat a little bit further back than Tim would. It is manual adjustments, but the seats themselves are so comfortable. It's very easy to find a spot that you like best and keep it there.
Yeah.
I'm going to just quickly take over, Tim, sorry.
You got it?
Right over here. We'll do more of an interior review than a tech review, and I think Charlotte and I will do a tech review on Monday. So we got our USB-Cs here. This one is for connectivity and charging. This one's simply for charging. There's also, what's it going to call
12 volt, yeah.
A 12-volt inverter.
Yep.
Lots of open space over here for if you want to keep your phones there while you're charging, sunglasses, that kind of thing, because I don't know if you could tell, but there is no sunglass holder up here. That's something Kia is slowly removing from their vehicles. Your gear shift is quite nice. So this is the first time we're seeing our shift-by-wire in the Carnival. Essentially, it just operates like a regular dial, foot on the brake, and then you can twist it into drive, neutral, or reverse. You also just hit the P for park. Plus, it looks good. It's a pretty luxe design to it.
It's finished nice, yeah.
It's finished very nicely.
Clean.
You'll notice that there's not a lot of piano black either. So especially if you have kids or if life happens, you're not going to have fingerprints all over this area here. It's not piano black. It's not going to have a bunch of scratches. It's just nice and clean all the time. Cup holders are massive, so they're Trenta-sized cup holders. You do have your drive mode select, auto hold, and electronic parking brake right over here. And then these buttons are going to have a variety of different convenience controls. So you got your heated seats, heated steering wheel, 2 different levels, parking sensors to turn them on or off, your park view camera, which you can summon your camera view whenever you'd like, as well as your heated windshield button. Funny enough, it's not actually on the climate control panel, it's separate. And then your passenger's heated seat as well. The Carnival is all about space, so you better believe that our glove box is also massive, or I guess center console, I should say. Lots of room over there. Close this up and it's nice and neat, and that is the same brown material we see on the doors. Over here, there's a little bit of a lip for other storage. You could put your key there or sunglasses again. And then Tim, do you want to show the glove box?
Yeah.
There's stuff in there.
Is there stuff in it?
Yes.
Okay. So the price, Maroney sticker, the books and tire, it's a good size.
Yes.
Lots of room in there.
Lots of room.
Oh, there we go.
Interesting. All right, let's hop into the back. I think I've upset the car.
Okay.
All right.
We're good.
Into the second row. Sorry, you guys, it's a little bit of a mess. I should probably give this camera back to Tim.
We'll trade you
There you go.
with the center, and yeah, you can jump around.
Alrighty.
You can see the size of the rear seats.
Yes. So large rear seats. I don't know why the vehicle's beeping at us right now.
Is it looking for the key? No?
Oh, I don't think so.
You
I
shut it
think
off?
we killed the battery again.
Oh,
It is what it
well,
is.
that's why we do live videos.
Yes. All right, so there are 3 seats back here. Like I mentioned, each one of these are removable. So if you really want a captain's chair's configuration, you can DIY it yourself. Take out the very middle one, pop it somewhere in your garage, somewhere in your house, use it as a second seat for your dining table. There's a whole bunch of things you can do here. The seats are also very easy to configure. So there is going to be a latch just on the far side of the seat where it'll allow the top of the seat to fold and the seat to slide on its rail. So very easy for you to get into the 3rd row. To bring it back into place, it's manual, so you got to give it a push. And then there's a latch right by the foot area that allows
And
you
that's
to
a
adjust
release
it.
down. Yep.
There you go. Cool thing about this middle seat, so if it's not in use, you can actually pull this tab to knock it down. And then it has a nice flat surface with extra cup holders, so your 2 passengers in this area here have a flat surface to work on, play on, and then of course have their drinks or food. You also have these cup holders up here, so of course if someone is sitting in this middle seat, you're not going to have to fold it on them to access cup holders. There's also a 12-volt inverter, so another one in the second row, and then USB-Cs built onto the backs of the driver and passenger seat. There's also these little clips here as well, so you can hang things like grocery bags or just anything you don't want on the floor. Another thing that a lot of people don't talk about is you can wrap around your charger. So if you're plugging your phone in, plug it in here, wrap the excess cable around there, and then you can put your phone in there while it charges. So that way there's not cables hanging around by your feet. It is multi-zone climate control in this vehicle, and of course I don't have it on, so the screens won't be lit up. But I'll show you where the back seats can access the climate for themselves. So you have your buttons for your fan speed, your button for your climate, and then of course directional control. And that will allow your back passengers to adjust the climate on their own. Now, if you're worried about your kids putting the heat on in the summer or the AC on in the winter, you can actually lock them out of here and just configure it to whatever you'd like right up at the front. All right, now I'm gonna hop in the third row. I don't know where Tim's going, but I'm gonna need him.
I'm just turning the lights back on.
Okay.
Okay, you're jumping in the back?
Yes, so
Okay.
I should probably do things the better way, so I'm coming this
Yeah,
way.
let's do it the proper way so you don't land on your head.
All right, also so I can show you guys. I don't know if Tim showed you, but there is armrests right there. And then this is the lever that you're gonna pull to get easy access to the third row. So let me fix myself, put this back up, give this a pull, slide, and then you have a passageway. All right, now that I'm in the third row, these seats are really reclined. You can see just how much space you'd really have in the worst case scenario. The headrests are adjustable, like I just showed. And of course, you can move this a little bit more up.
You got lots of room, leg room.
Yeah, lots of leg room. And these seats, they are on a rail. So depending on how much the person in front of you likes you, they can give you maximum leg room or the worst leg room. So it will come a little bit further, probably about 2 inches. So this is what we'd be looking at for worst case scenario leg room. You do have cup holders back here, quite a lot of storage as well too, so any snacks or, I don't know, if you want to keep your phone in there while you pass out for a long drive, there's a lot of comfort back here. You do get a little bit of window as well, and these windows do have covers. Air vents are ceiling mounted, so you're actually going to get the airflow to you and not just to your knees or your feet. It's very, very nice, much like an airplane. And then you got your interior lights, which of course the car is off, so can't show you that, but they are lights. All right, Tim, any questions we should get to?
No, it's nicely configured.
Yes.
Easy to move.
Yes.
And kind of customized for your passengers.
For sure.
Whether little kids or tall people, works great.
All right, if you don't want to do the Q&A, I can do it myself. I can do it here.
Oh, that's good.
No? Okay, I'll take it from you so I can actually see the questions
There it is. Go.
So I'm curious to see what you guys think of the Carnival so far. And with knowing that this is the most entry-level trim, do you think it's configured nicely? Because I think it is. There's a lot of tech and a lot of functions in here, and we haven't even gotten into the tech. So Monday's car review, I think, will be pretty exciting. LED interior lights, no. I'm not sure if it's actually that spacious in the back of the third row. How tall are you? I'm probably 5'4", which I'm the size of an adult woman. You'd probably want to put your shorter passengers or children in the back. So that's what most people would be using this for. Adult, even a 6-foot adult could fit back here, right, Tim?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not the best seat in the house, but you can certainly fit. Heels and seat rails. I know, you guys, we've had bad luck with that, but no accidents today, so it's a lucky day. Turn on fully, maybe low battery. Yeah, we killed the battery. We had it running with the lights on for too long while I was trying to get a thumbnail. Very good. Plus, everyone was opening the doors, checking it out. It was our first Carnival hybrid, so. Ever heard of the Sedona? That's Kia's minivan. Yeah, so the Sedona, that was the nameplate for essentially this vehicle for quite a while. I believe it started out as the Carnival and then got changed to Sedona and then became the Carnival again.
Well, even Hyundai had a van as well, right?
Yeah, the Entourage.
So, right, so we have a Sedona in the delivery pod right now from a service customer.
Yeah.
White one.
I will say, in some other markets, it was always called the Carnival, so it wasn't exactly a surprise when they changed it back to the name. Someone else said review the price again. It's 46,545 Canadian. That's the MSRP. So of course there is taxes and fees that go into that, but that is the flat MSRP. How many airbags are included? I believe this vehicle has 9 airbags. Now I know for the front passenger, it's their advanced airbags or passenger airbags. So it is a very, very safe vehicle. The Carnival has been since its release in 2022. I will also point out, I didn't realize I didn't mention all the safety functions that are in it. So let me give you a checklist of everything this car gets. So number 1 is forward collision avoidance assist. Now that works on pedestrians, cyclists, and of course other cars. Essentially what that does is if it senses a car pulled out in front of you, slammed on the brakes, it'll give you a warning with a pretty scary beep. And then if you fail to react as a driver, so you don't hit the brakes, the car will brake for you to avoid the collision. And same thing with pedestrians and cyclists, like I said. You also have lane keep and follow assist, so that uses a camera that's located in your windshield to watch what's happening on the road ahead of you. If you start to veer out of your lane or if there's a bend in the road, the vehicle will take action and gently steer for you with lane follow assist. With lane keep assist, it'll beep at you if you're starting to ping pong in your lanes. So you can turn one off, turn one on, have them both on, have them both off. The best part about Kia's driver assistance functions is they're very easy to reconfigure or shut off. So if you're ever not a fan of something, it's okay. You can turn that off. You're not breaking anything in your car. It's just personal preference. What's your favorite safety function, Tim?
Lane keep is a big deal, especially if you're driving long distance. I probably that's my best idea of great technology brought to Kia Canada, right? So that's
Absolutely. Good. A lot of these safety functions are standard on most of our vehicles, but of course, they are also standard on this LX Plus Carnival hybrid, so very nice. It's also very nice to see the sliding doors and power liftgate on the LX Plus model, because on the straight LX non-hybrid, it's manual. And I mean, little luxuries like that make a vehicle really worth it. It's the comfort, right? Creature comforts, you don't want to give those up. MacBook Pro asked, should I trust the hybrid systems? I think so. Kia's been doing hybrids for quite a while. What was our first hybrid, the Optima?
Optima, what, in 2011?
Yeah.
2011, 2012 was their Optima.
You still see them on the road?
EVs, yeah, you still see them on the roads. EVs started with the Soul, that's what, 2015?
Yep.
10 years, 10 model years of EVs now. Oh, we should probably talk about ISEV.
I have mentioned it a couple times in our recent videos,
okay.
But obviously this doesn't apply to the Carnival anyway because it's not a plug-in hybrid or full EV. But if you were looking for a full EV or a plug-in hybrid, the ISEV rebate or the federal rebate has been canceled. So no more $5,000 rebate.
Correct.
Which we're pretty bummed out about. It happened very suddenly as well too. It was slated to end March 31st and then just out of nowhere.
Monday they said no more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's been quite a bummer.
Yeah.
Quite not fun. Does it have a power adjustable passenger seat since Uncle Tim did not show the passenger seat controls? It does not, so it is a manual passenger seat. You do get a powered passenger seat on the EX model. And then again, there's 3 trim levels of hybrids, LX Plus, which is today's vehicle, an EX, which is a nice mid-range trim. You'll get the leatherette seating, a couple extra tech functions, a little bit more luxe functions. And then the SX Plus model is where you'll get those reclining captain's chairs, the ventilated second row, just a lot of tech, I should say. What about the gauge? It looks analog, but it's digital. Yeah, so it is a digital gauge cluster. It's not the full 12.3-inch display that you'll see on the SX Plus model, but the speedo and the tach, they're like digital, but in an analog way. So you get that classic styling, but digital and modern comforts or modern tech. So it's the best of both worlds. Any Elantra End contents? So we filmed an Elantra End not too long ago. I believe we have one at our Hyundai store, so maybe I could try to get one out for you guys next week. I think so, right? We can make it happen.
Sure.
Let's see. Is the maintenance on a hybrid better because the engine doesn't work as hard? So that's actually a question we get asked quite a bit. So the recommended intervals for service are actually still the same. So I know the engine isn't working as hard, but it's still working, and we still recommend, especially if you do your oil changes based off time and not necessarily mileage. So if the time runs up quicker than your driving does, you don't want old oil sitting in your car for a long time. Right, Tim?
Well, I don't think people understand, and we don't understand sometimes, that even a car sitting
turn the camera on.
creates even a car sitting creates condensation in the oil. The oil does break down even in a car that doesn't get driven that much. And you know the difference was between minus 40 degrees Celsius and plus 5 degrees Celsius. So those temperatures, especially in this climate that we live in, you should probably look at your oil more often. And really, when you think about it, we use synthetics now. And before, you used to see a $25 oil change. Well, our oil changes are about $125 now.
Yeah, they're more expensive.
Because they're synthetic. But that's a cheap way to maintain your car and make sure that the oil doesn't have condensation in it or it doesn't break down faster. And all of us drive in all different types of weather here. Yeah. So good question, great question.
Yeah, nothing better you could do for your car than take care of it. If you want it to take care of you, take care of your car.
Yeah.
So, good service,
Easy.
quality service, and timely service. Don't extend those oil change dates. Don't put off things like brakes. Brakes are another big thing. So this isn't a full EV, so it's not as heavily reliant on regenerative braking as an EV would. But a lot of people, especially if they don't drive much, don't really think of their brakes. But brakes are something that can rot and diminish if you don't actually use them. So.
Well, even the chemicals they put on the road today. You see those tanks behind those tanks spraying all kinds of stuff out behind the plow trucks today. Mm-hmm. That gets into your brake system, and that's why we recommend brake services or brake cleanings.
Yes.
And I think it's very cheap when you do it twice a year. Mm-hmm. Your brakes will last a lot longer.
Another thing I think people don't realize that is actually taking care or maintenance for your car is washing your car. So a lot of people are just like, oh, I don't care what my car looks like outside. If it's dirty, it's dirty. But no, road salt accumulates. If you don't want a rusty car, clean your car. It's the best thing you can do, seriously. And it's easy. Even a drive-through car wash is fine. Just make sure it's touchless. Right, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're at 31 minutes. That was a pretty long video, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about the Kia Carnival Hybrid, please do let us know, because we can always give you a video answer now that we have one. We hope to see you on Monday's live stream. Take care and stay tuned, because this weekend we got a couple videos dropping. Bye-bye.
See ya.